Hi there, I'm Irina, the Product and Community Specialist with the marketing team here at Zanda. In this video tutorial, I would like to show you how you can easily set up and manage availabilities for your practitioners using the Zanda availability feature. Stay with me and let's have a look at this together. Availability feature in Zanda helps you differentiate available times of practitioners from unavailable ones. If we now have a look at the main calendar screen in Zanda, you will see that some time blocks are grayed out, while the others have a color. In my case, it's a white color, but you can set your calendars to different colors. What this means is that the gray out color is the time when the practitioners are not available for bookings, and the white color is when the practitioners are scheduled to work with clients. So your reception team will know that in these time blocks, they are able to create new appointments. You can also set up these available times for online bookings, letting your clients book appointments online. So let's have a look how we can set this up so that you have these available time blocks that are easily identifiable by your team and by your clients online. First of all, let me show you how you or your practitioners could access availability settings. If you work in a multi-practitioner practice and you decided to allow your practitioners to access their availability to change the settings, you can let them have access to their practitioner profile. If that is set up, a practitioner would be able to access their practitioner menu settings. This is how this would work. They would log in with their own user login details, click the practice business name at the top of the screen here at the top right, and then select practitioner profile menu. They would then navigate to their practitioner menu settings and here they would see the practitioner menu on the left side, and they would go to availability and click this menu tab, and there you go. They would access their own availability settings and they would be able to add a new availability or make edits to the existing availabilities. Through that setup, they would only have access to their own availability. In other videos or in our knowledge base, you would find instructions about how to set up this particular access for practitioners to their own practitioner settings. Master users of a Zanda account or practice manager or other authorized users who are allowed to have access to the account settings are able to manage availability settings for all the practitioners in the account. Or if you are the sole user of your account, of course, you can access your availability settings through the menu that I will show you now. So to do that, we will click on the settings menu here. The settings springboard will open and we need the team category tab here, and we will just click availability. This setting will show us the availability for all the practitioners that are created in the account, and we will be able to manage availabilities for them from here. So let us add a new availability. I will just step you through this process. We will click Add Availability. And these are the settings. So what we can do, we will start with creating the start and end date. So let's say that we want to start the new availability for this practitioner from the next month. Let's say the Monday will be the 3rd of February, and this will be an ongoing new availability for this practitioner. Next, we will select the new location. Let's say we want to introduce telehealth services for our clients. We will select that, and this will be recurring every week. So we will provide these services ongoing. But you have these recurring options. For example, it can this service or this location can be available for bookings for appointments every 2nd week, every 3rd week, or once a month, for example. So we will select the every week. You can also add some description. This will only be visible for your team or for the practice manager, for people who have access to these settings, just to organize, to leave a note why this availability was created. So we will leave this blank, for example. You can set up the to date. For example, if you wish this availability be available for this year only, you can set up the end date for it. This is also possible. So let's do it this way. Then let us say that we want these telehealth appointments be available for this practitioner, not all 5 days of the week, but let's say just 3 days of the week. And this way we can remove the additional days that telehealth appointments won't be available. We don't want the practitioner to work in this location on Thursday and Friday. So we only have now 3 days available for telehealth appointments. What else we can do? For example, on a Monday, the practitioner will only provide telehealth appointments in the morning. So we can end this location availability at 1 p.m. 1 p.m. So we can limit availability this way from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. And on a Wednesday, we can add availability line this way to introduce a break, for example. I'm just showing you that you can edit availability blocks for different days. You can add more blocks in one day to introduce different breaks, for example. So we'll do 9 to 12, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. this way, and then 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. So this way we introduced 1 hour break, for example. And what else we can do? We can turn off the clients can book online. So what it does, it makes the time block of 1 p.m. to 5 p.m., so the afternoon block of availability on Wednesdays for this practitioner, to be available for your team booking, so that your reception can book clients when they call through, or it can be left as a reserve for urgent bookings so that your team can manually book clients. But the online bookings will be blocked. So the clients won't see these time slots as available. So you can also have this flexibility when you create availability. You can add availability for additional days, like a Sunday, for example. This practitioner can offer some hours on Sunday for urgent services, or the services that are after hours or weekend services. So you can have all this flexibility again with how you set up the hours for this practitioner. So let's do this. And perhaps again, clients cannot book this online. This availability can be for the practitioner and your team discretion. If someone, for example, wants to have these appointments available. Let me remove that. Also showing you how you can remove the lines of availability. So you can play with these availability days and parts of the day as you need. And then we will save the changes performed to this availability for the practitioner. And there you go. We created that and saved it. Let me click out. There you go. So I created the telehealth availability. For the new location, for the telehealth services for one of the practitioners. And I have to create more for the other 2. Or you may be working in a practice where you have 10 practitioners, 20 practitioners, and all of them will start offering telehealth services. Imagine creating 20 more, 10 more of these availabilities. Wow, that's a big job. But don't worry, we have got you covered. That's what you can do. So for example, we take this new availability we just created for Irene. click on this actions icon and select clone. We clone this availability either to all practitioners, if it's going to be to all of them, or to specific practitioners, and you can check which practitioners you want to add this to. I'll clone to all. And there you go, my job is done, and I just cloned it to Irene for the second time, which I shouldn't be doing again. That's good, because I have an option now to show you how I can edit and delete an availability if I didn't need it. There you go. I deleted an availability as well. And let me show you. There you go. I have all practitioners with 3 availabilities because I just easily copied, cloned one that I created and just populated it for all my practitioners. How great is that? Now let us say you need to quickly change your available hours or your practitioners' available hours, but you don't want to set up the whole new availability. How you can do that? For this, we have provided the availability overrides feature right here. Let me show you how this works. You click the add availability override button, and here you set this up. So for example, you want to be, or the practitioner needs to be unavailable. So we will select no, and the practitioner will be unavailable, for example, in March for, let's say, 1 week. So in March for 1 week, from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Now be very careful when you select this available or not available for a period. It includes 24 hours in between those dates. So if you select 1 day or 2 days and you make yourself, for example, available, you will be available around the clock on those 2 days, or unavailable around the clock on those 2 days. So be careful, be aware of that. And for example, Sarah wants to be unavailable from the face-to-face appointments, but she will be available on the phone or telehealth appointments, for example. She will be staying at home, taking those appointments, but she won't be able to visit the office. And for example, description for this override, working from home, because she needs to stay at home for some reason. There you go. And we will save the changes. So what it does, this availability override will block out 1 week from this one location. If this person, this practitioner, or you need to block out 1 week from all the locations where you are made available, you will need to create the override for all your 3 locations. Repeat this process for all 3 locations. All right. So that's how the overrides work. So we have covered the basic setup and management of availabilities for your practitioners and your locations. And let me now share some tips and tricks and best practices for you as well. So first of all, I would like to show you the show past availabilities and overrides feature. When availability or override has expired, it means that when it's the end date is in the past, it is removed from the list here. And if you want to have a look at your historic records, you'll just enable this switch here. And as you can see, the list becomes longer and the past dated availabilities and overrides will show if you want to have a look at your records. And again, to remove them, just turn this off. This is available for all your practitioners here on the availabilities. Another reminder for you, if you want to make some times available for online bookings, this is where it is managed. click into the availability settings and ensure that the time block that you want to allow your clients to book themselves to make your admin life a bit easier is here. Turn this on or turn this off. This is how you manage when the clients are able to book online, and don't forget to save those changes when you enabled this feature for your clients. And one more important setting to check is the time zone of your account. This is where it's set up. We'll go to the settings menu, into the practice category tab here, and go into the business info settings. And this is where it's set up, is the time zone of your account. There is the drop down, you'll click into it and select, and then save the changes. And again, it applies to the time settings of the whole account. For today here is you can set up the color coding for your location to make it even more visually easy to recognize the location on your calendar settings. So to do that, we'll go into the settings menu again, and in your practice setup, we'll go into the locations. And here in the location settings, for each location, you can select the color code. Here, just click and select the color. You make it brighter. And yeah, you can see here at the top which color to select. You can make it brighter, you can make it less bright. And once you've selected the color, click Save. And then when you go to the calendar, that selected color makes it stand out. There you go. So you see this sort of peach color. That's the telehealth location of your practitioner. There you go. If we select the telehealth for all your practitioners, let's maybe skip to the next week when everyone's made available. There you go. We've set up the telehealth location for our practitioners. That's the color of it. And if we skip, jump back to today, go to all locations. There you go. The white location is a different one. We know now. Let me stop here. There's a lot more to tell. We have a lot more video tutorials. Stay with us, learn, and enjoy your Zanda account.